The Gunn brothers, welcome to Celtic Park. It's great to have you here. As Celtic supporters, how good is it to be here?
Oh,
we're in awe. we love it here.
We were just in the toilet there, sort of just talking, and we were like, how amazing is it to be here, you know, and completely in awe, absolutely. This is paradise, isn't it? It's just fantastic.
It's paradise, but it's your backyard as well, because you guys are from here.
Yeah, we're from the Calton, so, you know, and that's kind of where we sort of wrote all our songs, like, you know, the history of the sort of gun songs we'd kind of written in the Calton, you know, and it's great. And we've always loved, you know, coming up here to watch games and stuff like that. It was always a wee break for us from in between writing, stuff like that, and recording.
And the Calton's very much the focus of the next album, Calton Songs. Tell us a bit about that.
Well, that's where it's like Dante said, Jerry, all the songs were written in my bedroom at the time, you know, just when we got a record deal, and obviously, you know, we hadn't been used to any big studio or anything to go in and work, so we just kind of worked in my bedroom. Our publishing company gave me a wee 8-track demo machine, and we just kind of worked with that, you know, and a wee drum machine, and Dante and I, you know, and a couple of other guys had worked on the songs and stuff, but mostly everything was done in my bedroom in the Calton, you know, during Mill Road Drive, you know, which is a stone's throw away from here, you know.
It's now my bedroom.
Well, am I right in saying that you still do a lot of your writing in there as well?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, it's still a family home. We kind of kept it and stuff like that. And
yeah, we bought my mum's house, you know, a way back, you know, and we've always kept it there, and you know, and it's just. But we go back there, and we've got one of the bedrooms as a proper rewriting studio room there, and we just really like going in there and jamming and stuff like that.
You guys, of course, have major name across Europe and the world as rock stars. How important is it that you don't forget about your roots and you keep to your roots?
That's so important for us, and I think we've always kind of been like that, you know. We've just always kind of went and no matter how much kind of like you've won, like we've sort of played with the Rolling Stones, won MTV awards and stuff like that, and I think you just kind of you keep your feet in the ground, and I think it's the way you've been brought up. As you know, totally. I think our parents were always telling us, you know, just keep your feet firmly in the ground, and I think you take it from that, you know. Of
course, you've played massive stadiums, you know, the full electric rock setup. You're going to do some acoustic numbers for us today. How much do you enjoy that stripped back acoustic style?
It's something a wee bit different, and it's something that we've always wanted to do. Is take all our singles that we had released and just really strip them back to the way they were basically written, you know, because they were all written in acoustic guitars. You know, there wasn't like computers where you could build up songs and stuff like that. So that's what we did, you know. And then when COVID and all that kind of kicked in, you know, we were in the process of writing a new electric album, but it was just too difficult, you know. We couldn't handle the, you know, that nothing happening. We couldn't promote a record. We couldn't ever go into the studio and be up, you know, because of COVID. So we thought, next thing was just thought, why don't we just strip back all these acoustics and all these songs into acoustics and play them as a band and have a jam, and then from there it just kind of evolved, and we were really happy with it, you know. We thought, that sounds great, you know, let's make an album, you know. So that was what happened. And
not only an album, but let's go out on the road acoustically in some small venues in Scotland.
Yeah. Oh, that's such a buzz. We've been doing that. Obviously, when the pandemic kicked in and stuff like that, and obviously try to generate some sort of income, Jerry, we'd do the sort of live streaming, and it was just it was a way of sort of even just connecting with an audience, you know. And you know, when I think about it now, I think about it, God, how bizarre that was, that whole sort of situation where you were live streaming in front of an audience on, you know, online. But you kind of, you know, we adapted, you know, to a certain extent, and I think that kind of prompted us to kind of go out and want to do the acoustic shows, you know, because I think the sounds of the songs as well, you know, stripping them back like that, it always, you know, you always think that the songs stand the test of time if you can strip them back without all the big parts in it and stuff like that, and it's just a melody and it's just chords, you know, and that's what we kind of love doing, you know. And I'm really looking forward to doing these acoustic shows, and it's not just about the songs as well. It's it's about the stories behind the songs, you know, and I think people love to see us two arguing. Also,
well, the first song you're going to perform is Backstreet Brothers. Tell us a little bit about that, or is it self-explained in the title?
Well, that's actually about some of the friends that I kind of grew up with, and just, you know, one sort of summer afternoon we decided to go to Mulgai Country Park, and I kind of bought all this stuff, camping equipment, and I spent a fortune. I was like 16 or 17, and anyway, one thing led to another. It didn't happen. It didn't turn out too well, and the story of the song is about that, you know. And we ended up not camping. I think we ended up trying. It was the hottest day of the year, and it was so warm. We couldn't build a fire, so I was burning my socks and stuff like that, and try to build a fire. And we just look, let's just go home. And we ended up just going to a bar in town, just threw everything in the bin. It was like, but that was the story of the Backstreet Brothers. But it's obviously kind of universal, just growing up and being young and doing real, you know, fun things.
With my best friends, we're burning up in the sun. We'll find our way to the water. I'm stuck in quicksand, sinking fast. The crooked smiles and wasted eyes. You gotta know I'm gonna die. The struggle's real, it's justified, but in the end it was all just fun. The spark is gone, the fire's out. We did our best to hold the night. Pack up your things, now we're heading home. We should've known that it wouldn't last, 'cause we were Backstreet Brothers, sitting on a happy cloud. 'Cause we were Backstreet Brothers, we're gonna fall a long way down. Well, we were young at the time of our lives, sit and drink a bucket of wine. Those days are gone, but still in our mind, and we will live without regret. We close our eyes and pray again. We work those days until the end. We never knew what we ever had. We never judged what was good or bad, 'cause we were Backstreet Brothers, sitting on a happy cloud. 'Cause we were Backstreet Brothers, gonna fall a long way down. The spark is gone, the fire's out. We did our best to hold the night. Make up your things, now we're heading home. We should've known that it wouldn't last, 'cause we were Backstreet Brothers, sitting on a happy cloud. 'Cause we were Backstreet Brothers, gonna fall a long way down. 'Cause we were Backstreet Brothers, sitting on a happy cloud. 'Cause we were Backstreet Brothers, gonna fall a long way down.
Let's talk about Celtic. Then obviously this ground didn't look like this when you were young boys in the Calton coming here. What are your earliest memories of coming here?
My earliest memories was my dad bringing up. I can't remember my first game that I came to, but you know, we lived at that time. We lived in the Gallowgate, you know, and my dad would bring me up every Saturday, you know, and all the midweek games. But I remember Tommy Burns's. I remember coming to Tommy Burns's his first game, you know, and because he lived in Orr Street, which is just literally from where I live, round the corner, you know, and I remember in St Mary's School.
Yeah,
I
we
went to
used to
St Mary's School, and well, we went to St Mary's School, but seeing Tommy and we called it the Gravy. That's where we played our football, you know. And I always remember seeing him, you know, just playing with his pals, kicking out, and you think this guy just stood at miles ahead of everybody, you know. And, but you know, coming to here, you know, being brought up Celtic and you know, being part of the nostalgia of this club, you know, it's just phenomenal. You know, it's just amazing.
And
you know,
how it's progressed and how it's changed everything. You know, it's just, you just look at it. I keep looking at it behind me, and I just think, wow, what a stadium that is.
Remember a great story. My dad, we were in the jungle, brought us to the, and obviously like, I'm from Italian descent, you know. So it was Celtic and Atletico Madrid, right? So my dad, you know, we used to go to every Celtic game. And I think I got really heated at the game, you know. And my dad he left me with my uncle to go home because he had to go to work. So he's left, and those guys just digging him up and all that. You Spanish, I try to kick him, call him all the names under the sun, but he, and a broad glass region, what are you talking about? I'm for the Calton. But that was a great story, you know. It was just, but great memories, you know, brilliant.
Do you find yourself, you know, going through the decades when you're touring around some of the biggest cities in the world? Do you find yourself trying to educate people on Celtic and talking about Celtic?
Do you know what most people know about it? Everybody knows about Celtic. Everybody, you know, and that's what I love. You know, just the fact that you know. You know, we did a tour there, an acoustic tour in Spain recently, and we was Madrid and Barcelona, and we were just talking about Celtic, and they were like, "Oh, we love Celtic." Every single place that we went to, and they have sort of a love, respect for Celtic. You know.
Yeah, I remember when we were supporting the Stones, and we were 1990, and jumped in a taxi. And we were talking about football and stuff, and he was in Lisbon, and he was a Benfica fan, and he was like, "Yeah, you like football?" I goes, "Yeah, I'm Glasgow Celtic." Right away, Kenny Dalglish, Johnny Johnston, Billy McNeil, you know, you're like, you know the players. He goes, "Oh man," he was like, "How amazing, what a team that was," you know, sort of a.
I believe in your European tour you've got coming up soon as well. You're going to go to Lisbon.
Yeah.
Will you take some time to go and visit the Celtic shrines?
Absolutely, we will. You know, and we actually
we've got a couple of days off. So
yeah.
After the first show, but no, definitely we'll be.
And we'll take a couple of acoustics, and we'll be playing that stadium, that famous stadium.
Yeah, that could be a good idea.
You know, that would be great. You know,
great idea.
And send it to you. Oh, absolutely.
Definitely.
How much do you enjoy coming to see Celtic today? I mean, you talk about the days gone by, or whatever, but obviously Ange Postecoglou here as the manager, Callum as the captain, some big European nights coming up. How much are you looking forward to that? How much are you enjoying the football just now?
Absolutely.
The football is immense at the moment.
Buzzing, man. It's just
this time last year, we never thought this was, and I speak probably of every Celtic fan, like the unknown of Ange Postecoglou, and by God, he's proved us all wrong, and how incredible a manager he is. I've been super impressed. Just the style of football that he's been playing.
Yeah.
I've not seen for a long time. You know, and the attacking football, the mentality that he's got. You know, I love to watch it. It's great. It's great for any Celtic fan to watch that style of football. You know,
I don't think anyone's ever imagined. I mean, we were all saying maybe one season, give him a season or two or three, you know, or a couple of seasons to get it together. But wow, he's knocked it right out the park. You know, he's how he managed to galvanise that team. You know,
in such a
from the
short
beginning.
space of time. Yeah.
You know, you look at the disarray we were in it last season. You know, sort of a.
It's maybe appropriate then that you're going to perform your song Better Days. But tell us about the background to that number.
Well, Better Days was our first ever single that we released back in 1989. And great memories of recording that song. But see, the thing is, you didn't know in those days. Like you never know. Never mind in those days, but. You never know what's going to be a single or what's going to be really popular or anything. We just knew it was a good song at the time. And then it kind of got released, and then sort of Radio 1 had picked up on it, and then it charted and stuff like that, and it kind of, that was the onset,
Well,
that was the beginning of the...
It was a song that put us on the map, you know, it kind of opened a lot of doors, and, you know, and it's again, song written in the Calton in my bedroom, you know, and then you go and you travel the world with it, and you start thinking, oh, it's starting to be popular here, and then you go to Spain or Germany, and you know, they're all singing the words, and you're like, when they all speak German and Spanish, but they're singing all the words and stuff, and you're like, wow, man, they dig the song, you know, and I think, but the biggest thing for me was when we got Top of the Pops, we got a phone call to do, we had to go and do Top of the Pops, because we charted it, you know, and we were supposed to go back home, we had to go back down to London, so I phoned up my mum saying, I'm not coming back home, we're going back down to do Top of the Pops. She's like, oh, well, that was it. I had made it as far as I was concerned. If you get to Top of the Pops, that was a big thing, you know.
Trouble last night on the radio. Seeing is believing. Now tell me, do you like what you see? Well, I've been holding on to promises now, yeah, for too many years. It's happening all over the world, yeah, there's people like you and me. There should be heaven, but this feels like hell. So hold your head high, 'cause you know I die for better days. Yeah, read in the paper last night, people living in fear. It's easy to say nothing, it's easy just to watch things fall. Now I was told that there's a time in your life when you gotta stand proud. So tell me, don't you think it's time to put an end to it all? There should be heaven, but this feels like hell. So hold your head high, 'cause you know I die for better days, for better days. There should be heaven, but this feels like hell, yeah. So hold your head high, 'cause you know I die for better days. Woo. This feels like hell. So hold your head high, 'cause you know I die for better days, for better days. There should be heaven, but this feels like hell, yeah. So hold your head high, I die for better days, for better days, bring better ways.
Working for Celtic, you can be in a very privileged position, and there are a couple of instances I can think of where I've been in a situation where I've kind of taken a step back and actually had to pinch myself and go, wow, I can't believe I'm here doing this job. You know, I can think of an instance when Celtic were playing away to Bayern Munich in the Champions League, and just before kick-off, about to do commentary, I remember a real kind of wow moment where I thought, this is unbelievable. Was there a moment in your careers when you look back and you think that this is the moment where you thought, wow?
Yeah, I can answer that.
Made it. Yeah.
Well,
There's a few. I think there's quite a few.
I think it was the first time we went on. We got a phone call to support the Rolling Stones, and then we were halfway through an American tour, and we had to finish. It was like on the Friday we had to do 2 shows on a Friday night. It's supposed to be Friday, Saturday.
Troubadour.
And then we had to fly back to Holland on a Saturday
Rotterdam,
to open up for the Rolling Stones in front of 50,000.
That was surreal. That was
like,
very surreal.
What the hell, you know?
Yeah, we had did 2 shows in LA. It was a Troubadour to fill in, it was a matinee show.
You know the Whiskey a Go-Go?
I can't remember, but anyway, well, it's debatable. But we, to cram it in, we did a showcase for the record company, and then one for the fans. It was meant to be over 2 days, but because we had to fly to Rotterdam, we ended up doing it 1 in the afternoon and 1 in the evening, and then took the flight, and then we got off the plane, and then we travelled to the venue, which was Rotterdam Feyenoord Stadium.
Yeah.
And it was this is bizarre.
50,000
jet lagged, you know, and it's like during the afternoon, and
we had only been playing clubs at 200 capacities.
Yeah,
people,
in the States for like a month and a half.
So, you know, so it was bizarre.
To go from, you know, your back bedroom writing some songs and then you're there playing in front of a Rolling Stones audience, you've been there and done it. What advice would you give to any young songwriters, stroke musicians trying to make it in the industry today, which is a completely different industry than it was back in the 80s?
It's very, very difficult now, and it gets even more difficult, you know, because of all the live streaming, all the bands, you know, and it's hard to get venues. It's hard. I just believe if you just stick in anything, sports, football,
you believe in yourself. That's what it is. You believe in yourself,
you know,
and you keep writing.
There's a lot of ways.
You hone your writing skills and listen to a lot of music, read a lot of books, and
there's a lot of ways for.
I think, sorry, I was going to just say, but social media has taken a lot of, you know, I don't know, a lot of importance within sort of upcoming bands, and I think that is kind of important, because now record companies will look at your Facebook page or how many likes have they got, or many, you know, and I think that plays a big part, unfortunately. But when in the past it was just the music.
But there is a lot of avenues you can go down to let people hear your music. You know, don't give up. You just keep writing, because if it's good, people will buy it. You know, people will dig it. You know, if you've got an image and you've got the right attitude, you know, I think again from our humble upbringing, you know, we didn't take anything for granted. We worked hard. You've got to work hard for it, you know. And I used to get, you know, people say, you're lucky. Well, you don't get lucky for nothing. You know, you got to
work hard at it.
Ultimately, it comes down to just good music at the end of the day, and thankfully you guys are still writing some great music. All the best with the album, Calton Songs.
Thanks, Jerry.
Thanks very much
for coming in and playing
for us.
Oh,
it's a pleasure.
Appreciate it, man.
Absolute pleasure.
Absolutely buzzing, man. Brilliant.